Each election brings its share of questions about voting age. Should teenagers be allowed to vote? 16-year-olds can drive, they can consent to having sex, they can pay their taxes, they can even legally emancipate from their parents. So why not let them vote and have a say in their future? That's exactly what Yukon youth leader of Vote 16 Canada is thinking.
You know, really think about all like the horrible stuff happening in the world, and you're like, oh Lord, like what are we gonna do about this? Like, this is kind of a scary world to be the next leaders of, but realizing that everyone's been a youth at some point, everyone has had that hope at some point. If you vote your first election, you're most likely to be a lifelong voter, and we know in this country we need higher voter participation.
There's been a significant turnout gap between younger and older voters in Canada over the last years. Vote 16 Canada says lowering voting age could help. But this Whitehorse resident isn't sure letting teens near the ballot box is a good idea.
I would be worried of how easily young people who don't really care about politics their vote could be swayed, or their vote could be not bought literally, but kind of bought in a metaphorical sense by someone just telling them something that they don't really know much about.
That concern is actually a double standard, according to the executive director for the David Asper Center for Constitutional Rights. Cheryl Milne says teenagers are not blind to politics. They do have some form of political education.
We don't expect adults to have a certain level of education before they can vote. We don't even expect them to have a certain level of competence before they can vote. So it would be a standard that is applied to young people that's not applied to adults.
Milne says that those who would want to be able to vote at a young age are also those who educate themselves about politics. She adds that engagement needs to happen on both sides. But right now in this election, with the focus on Trump, tariffs, national defense, there's no focus on young people's issues. Virginie Ann, CBC News, Whitehorse.